take you back to court where the attorney representing the accused person in that fire in Parliament is now addressing media.
Act. As I've already indicated, that whether it's Constantia, whether it's Khalashiwe, whether it's Kailicha, arson remains arson. Here we accept the decision of the court granting the state further remand for purposes of obtaining bail information. But our submission is this. Surely this poor man is made a scapegoat for failures of executive and legislature. There is no point to come and say we are not ready, when in fact they allege that the most important point of the country has been destroyed. Yet they didn't do anything. Sunday, the whole day. Monday, the whole day. And you also count the nights, and you must remember that the state has got all the resources. And also considering that this chap is accused of destroying Parliament. The Parliament, the distant factor, Parliament to where he resides, it hardly takes 25 minutes. More especially, there is no traffic now. It's during public holidays. So at least the state could have ascertained that information immediately on Sunday. But still they didn't do that. And now they come before court and say, we ask a remand, is arson, and it's a national key point. National key point, there is nothing such as that one. It's arson. And according to our law, arson is arson, and it's Schedule 1 offense, and one charged with Schedule 1 offense is supposed to be released immediately, or the state is supposed to prove compelling reasons why the court should not release a person. But as we say, we accept.
The person is unemployed and has no assets. Who's paying for his legal bills?
Sorry.
Well, that information is very privileged. It's the information between client and own attorney, so I cannot.
Acting pro bono?
For now, I don't have even a cent. What compels me to come and defend this chap is because he raised his hand. And surely we are coming from the very similar background. We are all poor, and this chap, yes, he does not have assets, but that does not make him a flight risk. The proper consideration is that whether a person will come and appear in court, whether a person has got previous convictions, whether the person, there are any warrants of arrest issued against him, these are proper consideration done. For him to stay in Kailicha does not mean that he does not have assets. Those assets, the bed, the TV, and all other household necessities, it makes it sufficient for him to qualify for bail.
What is the circumstances surrounding the arrest of your client? Where was he arrested? What time was he arrested? And who arrested him?
Okay, well, for obvious reasons, I won't go to where he was and how he was arrested. Remember, we said we're not going to talk and discuss merits of the case for now. We still need a bail. But safe to say, the mere fact that he is here, he was arrested by members of SAPS, and one will assume that maybe he must have been arrested within certain proximity of the incident, which in this case, it could even be Kailicha, where all of us will reside, because it's 20 minutes to Kailicha. So all those issues will be issues that will be ventilated.
And at the time of his arrest, what was he in possession of?
No, he was not in possession of anything. He was not in possession. In fact, he denies vehemently those charges. He denies, he rejects those charges.
So the picture that's going around on social media is clearly of him outside Parliament on the steps of, got the white wall and
Well, I won't go to that aspect. Obvious, one would know if the crime scene is Parliament. It would be logical as well when someone is apprehended to be taken to the place of to the crime scene, and that does not necessarily mean that because his pictures or he was seen in Parliament and therefore he must have been the very same person. One will have to ask, hence I say these are the failures of legislature and the executive. One would ask a question, why would now private security and also the police not be present at the place where they are supposed to be? And we don't even know after how long did they arrive. And it can't be if you come across someone wandering around a certain proximity from the crime scene and you therefore assume that this is the person. Obviously, we are not there for now because we don't want to discuss merits of the case for now.
Mr. Kota, the senior counsel you alluded to, is it perhaps Mr. Mpofu himself?
I will disclose his identity when the time comes, but there won't be any harm if I don't tell you now. But surely when we come next time, I will tell, because I cannot say it's Mr. Mpofu or say it's Advocate Mpofu or it's Advocate Ngugai Tobi or it's Advocate. I cannot say, because it will also depend on availability of that particular counsel. We will be able to secure. But I can assure.
Mr. Godla, just to confirm, your client will plead not guilty, correct?
My client denies and rejects these charges, and therefore he is pleading not guilty, and he will continue pleading not guilty.
Thank you.
Can you explain, when you said that he raised his hand, how and when did he raise his hand to get your attention?
No, in fact,
not guilty.
I beg your pardon?
He's saying he's not pleading guilty, however he raised
Is pleading not guilty.
Okay, explain the hand raising.
No, when I say he raised his hand, it was a response to a question of how did he secure my services and whether is he paying for my services. And my response was that, look, I am not getting money in this case. I am assisting because he raised his hand. He made efforts, he contacted me, and in many ways.
How did he contact you?
Okay,
this is a homeless person that you're talking about.
No, it's not homeless. No. That's a mistake
sorry.
which is made by the state, and we have been laboring under this very same mistake. When one is residing in informal settlement or one is renting in informal settlement, it has been assumed that that particular person does not have a fixed address. No, he has got the address. He has got the address. He has been staying there. He stayed in Langa for a period of 4 years, renting at number 11 Washington Street, and he is renting where he is now in Kylie.
And what is occupation?
He has got a family. He has got a mother as the surviving parent. He has got siblings, but as you know, obvious that, like many of us, is not original from the Western Cape. Is originally from my gang. So he is in Western Cape looking for Murphy gang, looking for greener pastures. So he's a person with fixed address, is a person with family, is the person just like ourselves.
So he's unemployed. He's been staying in the Western Cape?
He is unemployed. I beg
How
your
long
pardon.
has he been in the Western Cape?
He has been in Western Cape for more than 6 years. Yeah, for more than 6 years. And surely some of us have been here less than that.
So was he anywhere near the parliament when the fire started?
No, that will go to merits of the case. As I've already indicated, that I won't discuss merits of the case.
Can you tell us more about his interrogation?
Okay. One question. I beg.
And also, we understand that there were explosives found in his possession.
No, not at all. Not at all. You did not follow the counsel properly. No explosive were ever found in his possession or near himself or within certain proximity where one would assume that he is in possession of those explosives. Nothing of that nature. If you heard properly, counsel said the crime scene, it's not accessible for now. So they wanted to investigate and establish other issues first. They only assume that there could be some explosive maybe within that area. And even if there could be explosive, we're not interested to that. The issue will be he denies those charges and those explosives would definitely belong to somebody else.
Is he
not
being held
even
at
able to tell you?
House, or is he at Bosmore?
No, because for purposes of appearance, or first appearance, one would be kept within the proximity of the court, but he will be taken to. Yeah, he's living alone.
What has he been able to tell you about his interrogation?
I beg your pardon?
What has he told you about his interrogation?
No, still that one will venture into merits of the case. Remember, that chap, there is nothing I'm trying to hide from you, good people. It's him as well who said you be allowed, and I wanted as well that you be allowed, but there will be those issues which we will not be free to discuss with you for now. Yeah, but definitely after some time we will give you information gradually.
So your client's being charged with 2 counts of arson.
Yeah.
Look for one, more especially the state can charge anyone and can press against anyone any charges, because it's a question that one would assume. We are talking about only one set of facts here. We are talking about the parliament. If in parliament we are saying 5 books were destroyed, really it does not make sense to say one will be charged with 5 counts. You understand? I could not even understand. We will be placed in possession of a charge sheet as well, because it absolutely does not make sense. How would you say, okay, this one is accused of burning this building, and you say 2 counts of arson? I really do
So you
not
think
know.
the state got the wrong person?
We are there as well to get it. Absolutely. This is not my instruction. This is not the person who is supposed to be apprehended. This one is a scapegoat. One would even question if now I will venture out, maybe I will come back to what we're asking. What interest would that poor man have in parliament, burning parliament? How would that person get access to parliament to start with? And how would he know where to go in parliament and burn? It's clearly a scapegoat. We have a scapegoat here in front of ourselves. This chap denies.
For who?
I said this is the failure of executive and legislature, not that poor person. That poor person is just like ourselves. Surely where you are, you don't know how to enter parliament and what are the key points, where to burn, which floor, which door.
A failure too?
Let me not go there as well, my sister.
And
I will deal. We will demonstrate that as well when we run a trial. Because if now I respond to some of the questions,
when he came into the doctors, are there any issues with regard to his mental state at the moment?
No, absolutely
nothing.
No.
But has he expressed to you how he actually feels about his arrest? Like, is he...
Yeah, as his attorney, the mere fact that he wanted an attorney, he wanted myself, not legal aid, he wanted myself. When I arrived here, he knew because we met before. We know each other
where
before.
And when?
How do you know each other?
I am from Kailicha, Site C. That's my home. That's where I grew up. And to go to Site B, you simply cross the road. But I won't divulge more. But he knows me, and anyone can know an attorney, any attorney.
Mr.
So,
Butler, what was he doing in the precincts of
how
Parliament
long will you
on
need?
Sunday?
How long will you need now?
This is the last answer.
Just the last one.
Okay.
What was he doing in the precincts of Parliament at 6 a.m. in the morning?
Not to start with, I told you, if you listened, or maybe you overlooked this part. To have someone and you place a particular person near a crime scene after apprehending him or her does not necessarily mean this is the person. I don't want to go to circumstances, to merits of this case, but all what I can tell you, he denies and rejects these charges.
Okay. Thank you.
If now today you see him in a dock, surely it won't be a fair question to ask, how did he come to a dock if he is not the person who did the offense? No, anyone can come to the dock. You can tomorrow be brought to the dock as well and answer. But you know what you will get. What is important is when you start responding to the charges placed to yourself. You heard today, the state is saying we don't know what charges to add, but we can say arson because Parliament is destroyed. So it's common sense to say it's arson. So you can charge someone with arson, not necessarily saying he is the one who did it.
So you confirm it's pro bono or you're going to get paid later?
No, I won't get paid. Good people, I can tell you it's our requirement as legal professionals that at least per year you must do matters pro bono. And this one, even though you would ordinarily get instruction from our society saying, can you do this matter? But you can as well pick up a matter and place it under pro bono.
You don't look like you're giving us an honest answer when it comes to that.
No, it's pro bono. Unfortunately, I cannot now go and come up with bank statement, but I can tell you it's pro bono, my dear sister. Keep this. Today is the date is the 4th. Then you ask me maybe 6 months later. It's pro bono. There is absolutely nothing in my pocket from that man. It's pro bono.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Whose is this, guys?
All right, there was a briefing there by Luvuyo Godla, who is the attorney representing the man who has been arrested and is said to be charged in connection with the fire that broke out in Parliament a few days ago, about 2 days ago. He's just been giving their version of events, certainly saying that his client vehemently rejects and denies those charges. Those charges, by that he means the 5 charges that have been that are being proffered by the state against this man from Khayelitsha. Those 5 charges, you'll know, include 2 counts of arson, a charge of breaking and entering, 1 charge of possession of an explosive device, as well as a charge of theft. And that we gathered from the briefing that had been given earlier on by the NPA Western Cape's Eric Ndabazalila. These 2 versions are completely at variance with one another. The defense completely and vehemently denying the charges. The state saying that there is a case for him to answer. They're saying that they are pretty confident about the case that they have. So let's